So, two new Gran Turismo 7 trailers have dropped. Yes, two. One, the Tuners trailer that dropped a day or two ago, and another one that is a leak of an upcoming trailer, also from that behind the scenes series. In all honesty, though, with that leaked trailer, there is a bit less to dissect and a bit less in the way of new content, but we'll get to that in the end of the video. But to start off with the trailer all of us have seen, the Tuners one, Kaz mentions himself that we will have the biggest array of upgrade parts that we've ever had in a Gran Turismo game. And of course we get to see some of that in action in the menus of the upgrade parts. There are familiar parts like the sports computer, the stage 1 weight reduction that we see, which will be familiar to any of us who have played Gran Turismo 6 and prior, but there are also some new mods that we haven't seen before, like the option to bore out your engine displacement, and of course, although not shown in this trailer, the possibilities relating to brakes thanks to the Brembo partnership. And while the mods are kind of laid out in a familiar fashion, there is a bit of an extra layer to it as we have these stages for how each part is done, going from sports all the way up to extreme, which, although we don't know, seems to be something akin to the racing modifications of old. And also from what Kaz is saying in the trailer, it seems as though tuning is going to be once again an integral part of the game and making the cars to your liking. But on that note, we of course have to talk about the visual customization as well, where we see in the trailer the menu with the wheels, which is done a bit differently to how GT Sports was. Of course, you had to buy those from the mileage exchange, although it seems here they're laid out all in one big row and not rotating in a cycle, and you can just buy them with credits, which is a much easier, much faster way, of course, to acquire these wheels and potentially paint colours. We'll see how they manage that, but to be honest, I prefer that way of doing things. Rambling aside though, also on the visual customization front, we get to see some of the wings available for the current generation Toyota Supra, which seems to be the poster car for the customization, so to speak, at least so far, because in the September trailer we saw it going along with the bottom skirts changing, and we get a few pretty varied and nice wing options here. Nothing too crazy, but it does seem like this car, and hopefully some others as well, probably particularly the JDM cars, are going to have some decent visual customization options, which is always good. And I'll be interested to see how the wings as well affect the car's performance and handling, depending on which one you go for, and if that will affect the performance point system, because that's something that it strangely never did before. Although it did have a performance effect, it didn't up your PP level, so it was kind of a cheat in a way. But yes, overall I am very glad to have these kind of customization and tuning options back. It was a big letdown in GT Sport them not having them, and with 400 plus cars, it's some people have been disappointed by that, but it's going to feel like a lot more if you're coming from GT Sport. Even though there aren't too many cars extra compared to GT Sport, you're going to be able to do a lot more with them and have more options to make them your own, so you can really get the most out of that car list, which of course will swell in time with updates. Moving on to the second trailer though, which is titled Tracks, we unfortunately, I'll get the disappointment out of the way now, don't see any new tracks in action. We just see a bit of reused footage and some new scenes at the Nürburgring with some existing supercars from GT Sport like the Veyron and the 177. And in this trailer, Kaz is saying how the Nürburgring is his favourite track and talks about how these circuits in GT7 feel much more realistic, and of course mentions the laser scanning techniques used, and crucially, the time of day and weather changes. Now of course this isn't going to be available for all tracks, but we know it's going to come to the Nürburgring, Lasat, Tsukuba, and the existing tracks already had it in GT Sport, I'd imagine, as well, being Spa, the Red Bull Ring, and Tokyo Expressway, which we do see again with rain in this trailer, and it does look very, very good. But unfortunately, no new content as such to discuss there. We've had no new real world tracks revealed, So I am expecting that in the coming months, otherwise it's going to be a disappointment if it's only old original circuits returning. Yes, they're very cool, but we need at least, one or two new real world tracks to add to the roster. But that's going to be it for this video and the analysis of these two new trailers. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day.